All right, well, hi, back to the mood series, okay? Well, let's talk a little bit about the nuance of bending and vibratos. I've done other videos on this, so if you search it, I'm sure you'll find more, but I just wanted to come back and tell you that you sometimes, or I do, I vibrato chords. I give a chord a vibrato, and it's either a down pulling or an up pulling. I do both. And the speed is so important. And the dynamic, how hard I hit it, how fast the vibrato is. So I can do it with 2 notes. I can, that major third, that perfect fourth, a very subtle nuance. Use that word, subtle. Perfect fifth. Now, BB King, yeah, you like that fast vibrato where it's a lot of wrist action here to get that speed. And there's all the speeds in between. But be mindful of what you're doing with the speed of your vibratos. Every time I hit that major 6 in a blues, if I want to hurt you, I just bend that a little bit. And maybe I give it a little vibrato. You know, a little humanism, a little, you know. But how fast is that? It seems to hurt and be a little sadder when it's slow. Major, dominant 7 or minor 7. Increment bend. So, and a vibrato can start slow and then go faster. It can start fast and go slow. I like the crying. So I take that major 2nd up at 9 and I cry it. I bring it up a little bit, maybe about not even a quarter bend, and I cry it. Pull off and vibrato the root. Now, I can get more into those vibratos, of course, when if I'm doing a thing where maybe I've got a little bit, let's say, I got a little distortion on the sound, right? Down pull, 4th finger vibrato, down pull, vibrato, down pull, up pull. The nuances. So the nuances, not how much you do, how little you do sometimes. Faster gets a little more attention, you know? And think about the consonants and dissonance. That you're bending into dissonance or bending into consonants. Is it mellow? Do you want to be pretty with your vibrato? Do you want to be sad with your vibrato? Do you want your vibrato to cry or whine? Double bend, over bend, bend a whole step, and you get really good at whole steps and half step bends. But what if I take that whole step bend on the over bend? So there's the over bends. So there's so much to getting into the nuances of bending. The slow, the speed, the dynamic, how hard you hit, how light it is, how soft it is. So when you're jamming, maybe you're soloing, maybe you're in a performance, maybe you're doing recordings, whatever you're doing, when you're improvising, you're locking into your feelings. And you've got to have control over the nuances. In your face, hard, slapping, hurting, different moods of vibratos. The different moods, the different statements of your sentence that you're saying. Guitar talking. We've been doing a series on guitar talking. Talking riffs. How do you answer? How do you tell the story? Is it a tale? You know, are you telling a story? And are you maybe having a little humor? Humor in your bends? Humor in your nuances? Humor in your sliding techniques? How do you get humor? How do you get seriousness? How do you get sadness? How do you get happy? All of this is important, and I'm going to be coming back to this, probably not every week, but every so on, I'm coming back to nuances, back to bending, moods. I said this was part of the mood series, okay? And that's what I'm trying to get you to get into it, so that you start expressing yourself and you're more creative than the other guitar players. I'm trying to make you better than the other players, that you care about, you know about how to express yourself better. You don't have to know a bazillion scales or be a great jazz player or all the riffs or copy all the great guitar players out there. No, you need to play with your own feeling maybe. Maybe this is where your style is. And being able to express yourself and be creative. But you need to know how to use the different techniques, okay? Techniques, skills, sliding, bending, increment bending, over bending, vibratos of all different kinds, slow, fast, speeds. And then there's the, we do the same thing with single notes that we can do with double note bends, triple note bends. You know, I can take double notes. There's so much, and like I said at the beginning, I can vibrato chord. So chords, when I use arpeggio, I can implement vibratos, implement bends. So be creative, be inventive. How do you express yourself? What will it take to express yourself? I'm trying to give you the techniques and the style to develop your own style, okay? Learn from other people what they do, what you like and what you don't like, and then borrow it. And then make it your own and own it. To own it, yeah. Okay, well, that's where I end this lesson. Thank you. I hope you hit the like, the subscribe if you're on the Guitar Time for You on YouTube. I'd love to get you over to Patreon. It's where my Guitar Zone is, and it's where I've got all my charts. And I've got things for sale now, and guitars coming up for sale, and all kinds of things. So it's really a great place to be. I'd love to have you be part of my family at Guitar Zone. So make sure And comment. Let me know what's going on. What do you think? Okay? All right. That's it. Bye.